They're lying to you online. Don't believe a word of it. You're not paying a cent more for your cruise with the new fare model that Virgin introduced back in October. And unlike them, I'm not just going to tell you, I'm going to show you. Ahoy sailors, my name is Rob and I'm here to tackle Virgin Voyages one topic at a time. Welcome to OVT. So I think a mixture of confusion, frustration, and people just wanting to appear more in the know than they really are has caused a lot of confusion and even misinformation out there. My insight and advice is quick and simple. Just give me a few minutes and you'll see the actual numbers and not just the hyperbole. But first, while not new to cruising, I am a pretty new YouTuber, so if you'd be willing to hit that subscribe button down there, that one right over there, I'd be grateful. And maybe that like button as well. Thank you in advance. One thing I've learned as a Virgin-leaning cruise fan is that people seem to fall into three categories. They're Virgin Voyages brand advocates, those whose interest has been piqued by the Virgin differences and want to try it, and the haters who don't like what Virgin is doing to cruising and think that the cruise line that they've sailed on 20 or 30 times before just simply can't be matched. But lately, I have seen the emergence of a fourth group, those who love Virgin and just hate the fact that they've changed things over the past few months. It's mostly from this group that I'm seeing a lot of that false information. The myth is that because of the new VoyageFair choices structure that was introduced a few months ago, making gratuities its own line item has made the total cost of cruising with Virgin go up, and the fact is it really hasn't. Let's break this down. Yes, no matter what fare category you choose, the gratuities are now being added at the end of your booking, and these used to be included in the total fare so that there were no surprises at the end. So are people allowed to feel frustrated that these pop up later? Of course they are, but understand one thing. The real reason that Virgin has done this is to make their published fares seem more apples to apples with what the other cruise lines are publishing. Understand that Virgin is still very much a niche and fledgling cruise company. With only 4 ships and something like a 1.4% market share, that means almost 99% cruisers haven't yet sailed with Virgin. And they didn't understand when they were comparing prices that they were comparing all-in pricing with Virgin to bare bones pricing with most other lines. When you include things in your fare like crew gratuities and soft drinks and Wi-Fi, of course that's going to make your pricing seem a bit higher than the others. So they decided to pull out the gratuities and add that cost once you book your cruise to align themselves with how the rest of the industry prices their sailings. Let's move away from the why and get right into the examples. I'm going to start with the next cruise that I'm on coming up in February. VV Insider does a great job at listing the cruise prices and updating them every few days so that you can see how they change over time. This figure in the middle, $2,926, was the cost of my Sea Terrace cabin. To the left of it are the Insider and the Sea View fares, and on the right of it are Rockstar and Mega Rockstar fares. If I were to show you the evolution of the fares from March 2025 until now, you'd see jumps every now and again, both up and down. But what I want to home in on is the change of the fare on October 7th. That is when Virgin Voyages started unbundling the gratuities. And if you do the math, the drop from $29.26 to $26.46 is $280. And now, can we calculate 7 days of tips at $20 per person or $40 per cabin? What do you know? $280. So to all the haters out there, do the math before spreading rumors, please. I have another example for you, but first a quick question. Have you booked a Virgin cruise with the new fare model? Did you feel like you were paying more? Leave me a message below and let me know how clear this was for you. And please do hit those like and subscribe buttons if you find this video useful. Just so that you don't think that my upcoming sailing was an anomaly, I typed in other random cruises, and this one here is an 11-day sailing through the Mediterranean in June 2026. On October 7th, the price for most cabins dropped by $440. 11 days times 2 passengers times $20 gratuities, $440. No change here either. Actually, take a look at the Sea View fare here in that second column. That one dropped an additional $230. Sure, it went up for a day, but then it came right back down. And if I were to scroll up to today, those prices have all remained the same or even dropped. Look at the Sea Terrace. It's gone down from $59.20 before separating the fare from gratuities to just $5,038 now. So prices have gone up. Your cruise is costing more now. Like I said before, this is all just frustration with change and, quite frankly, lies. Is the cost of cruising going up in general? Sure, across all cruise lines, prices are increasing as costs go up, and of course, as demand reaches all-time highs. Is Virgin Voyages maybe a bit more expensive than the other cruise lines because of all of those things they include that you have to pay extra for on the other cruise lines? You'd think so, right? But I put out this episode a few months back, and it debunked that myth as well. I hope you go and check it out. Well, that's all about how separating gratuities hasn't made the cost of your cruise more expensive, and that's my one Virgin topic for today. Do you have any questions? Are there any topics that you'd like to hear about? Leave me a message below. And until next time, ahoy, sailor.